on in. Come on in, family.
Blessings, 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 blessings.
Come on in, family.
I just thank you for anything and everything. Things get real, things get real. Tell me how you feel. All praise to the Lord is high. All praise to the Lord is high. Boy, man. Yeah, hand to the most high, know it, cause I don't rock hip-hop, bow-tie boy, but it's been hard, been scarred, can I show that, man, I'm sure they inserted the program for me to lose, but I bounce back, Beetlejuice, matter of fact of the matter is that, he don't lose in his whack, but I don't lost me if you gotta adapt, and don't let them eat it, you do not react, you gon' do something that you gon' regret, and they throw the key at you, look where you at, gather yourself, we know a G and you, this is a test, it's just a rap, and you got the key in you are the map, cause you are the best, and you know the rest. You're blessed.
Come on in here, family. Come on, come on, come on. You are watching Magick Up TV. I am your host, Seven The Alchemist. Here's where we talk about love, we talk about law, we talk about all things you understand. There's nothing off the table. And here's what we say. Life is easy. We make it hard. You know what to do when you get here. Hit the love button, hit the share button, let somebody know that the alchemist is in the building. You understand? Come on, family. What the is kingdom building? I see you, Quinn. I see you, Nico. This will surpass what I say in reflections, the lessons, the blessings, the message I get, but the weight of it all was a bitch, and I almost ain't make it. I know you feeling it. Potter is making, clay almost done. I'm in her. I'm so amazing, I say it. I know what I am, marvelous science, so that must be in me. Come on, family, come on, come on, come on. You are watching Magick Up TV. You are watching Magick Up TV, man, and I got a question for y'all. What the is kingdom building? What is kingdom building, man? You know what I'm saying? We hear this word all the time. We hear this word all the time. You know what I mean? But I don't see enough of it. I don't see enough of it. And it's one of those things where it could be like a legend. You know what a legend is? Like, man, this thing is so unbelievably impossible that it just does not exist. But it sounds good. Sounds great. Sounds like something we should be doing. It definitely sounds like something we should be doing. But we're not doing it. And since we're not doing it, it leads me to asking the question, do we really know what kingdom building is? I mean, do we really know? Because I think if we knew, we'd be doing it, right? Man, shout out to the Black Man Lab. Man, these brothers are doing some amazing things. I'm talking amazing things. You know, I'm going to get into a lesson later on this week. Talking about, you know, the housing of the people. You know what I mean? The housing of the people. We're going to get into that later. But what the is kingdom building? What is kingdom building? What is kingdom building, y'all? You know, I'm out here in these streets and, you know, I hear these brothers, oh, kingdom building, you know. I hear these sisters talking about kingdom building. And I've been on this platform now for roughly about 9 years. And it ain't too many of that. It ain't too much of kingdom building. And it's so much not enough of it. It's so invisible that I asked myself, I wonder if people really know what kingdom building is. I wonder what, it's kind of like the building fund. Y'all remember the building fund at church? These people been raising the building fund for 40 years. I ain't seen a new building yet. That's kind of like what the terminology kingdom building is like for me. I hear so many people talking about it, but I don't see no building going up. So what is kingdom building? I'm glad you asked. Kingdom building is a concept that can be understood differently depending on the context. In Christian theology, kingdom building refers to actively contributing to the growth of God's kingdom on earth. This involves spreading spiritual values, fostering faith in communities, and working towards a world that reflects divine principles like love, justice, and peace. It could include evangelism or ministry or missionary work. It could include acts of service and charity, developing leadership and discipline within faith communities. What I will say, regardless of what many may have to say about the construct of church, what I will say about that is that it absolutely embodies the concept of kingdom building. Here's a place that's been constructed. Here's a place that has been designed for God's people to assemble, right? And create relationship. Okay. Number 2, personal development. Kingdom building can be a metaphor for creating a life or a legacy that reflects one's values, aspirations, or goals. This could mean building a strong family or community, developing businesses or projects that have lasting impacts. It could mean investing in education, relationships, and skills to leave a meaningful legacy. We can't get to kingdom building without the personal development. If we're kingdom building, then that means that we're building kingdoms. And how can we build kingdoms without kingdoms being identified? And if you have not identified a kingdom yet, what is it that you're building? What is it that you're working on? You're laboring in vain. Either that or you're borrowing someone else's vision. But if you have not done the shadow work, if you have not done the work for personal development, and you insert yourself into a moving system without the personal conviction of accountability, then you become the weakest link. Why? You become the weakest link because everything is a marvel outside of self. If you have not created that dynasty within self, then, and respectfully so, if you're on the path of greatness, but you have not done the personal development, okay? Now, many people can say, well, Seven, how could you be on a path of greatness without doing the personal work? Simple. A lot of people feel as though that descends upon you. Like all of a sudden, for some reason, because you're desiring the work, because you're inserting yourself into the work, somehow miraculously your personal development takes place. That's not how that happens. That's not how that happens. Communities are built, strong communities are built on the backs of strong individuals. And those strong individuals are strong because they have come to some acknowledgement of that strength. Number 3, leadership and community development. All right, what is kingdom building? All right, we're talking about what is kingdom building. In a societal sense, kingdom building might refer to developing systems, structures, and communities that align with principles of justice, equity, and sustainability. Leaders who inspire others to work towards collective progression often see this as building their kingdom of influence. Laborers. Building requires laborers, you understand? And if you're asking for people to labor in your kingdom, but yet you have not clearly identified the mission of your kingdom, you have not clearly identified the purpose of your kingdom, then how can you expect for people to take part in it, let alone lead? Then let's talk about leadership. Some of us are so ego-driven that we can't step aside and allow others to lead even a movement that maybe we've been chosen to spark. You understand what I'm saying? Peace, Queen. I see you, Nicole. Peace, Deshaun. I see you, King. Kingdom building starts with the individual. It can't be a community with unity within. It can't be a community with unity within self. Absolutely. Like, it has to start from within, and respectfully, not everybody has that first initial, a lot of people don't have that. What's the word I'm looking for? That internal thing that moves certain people to greatness. Some people don't have, some people have to be shown that, right? So some people, and they know it. So when they see greatness or when they see something dynamic taking place, they're like, I want to be a part of that. I know I might not have the wherewithal to spark it on my own. I know I might not have the wherewithal to be the forefront of something, but I know I do have the energy. I do have the talent base to take part in something, right? And so they take part in it, hoping that that thing that they take part in shows them how to cultivate that thing within them. And that's not that's, you have to understand, we're all acquiring this thing at a different pace. No two people are at the same pace with it. You understand? So we can't look at people and then, cast, unfair expectations. I was going to say judgment, but remember I did a video on judgment. It's not a problem to judge. It's not a problem at all. That's how we factor life. That's how we gauge, you understand, success. That's how we gauge danger. That's how we gauge, you know what I mean, how we approach certain situations. However, having an unfair expectation of individuals, I think, is part of the problem, with this kingdom building aspect. So many people are expecting you to be at a certain place without taking the position of grooming. You understand what I'm saying? Like, some people are like, hey, come help me build this building. Here go a brick, here go a brick. But they never asked you, let me ask you a question. Do you know how to lay bricks? Nobody asked that question. Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you know how to lay bricks? Instead, they throwing these bricks at you like, hey, take that, take that, take that, take that. And then they turn around, Tamika, why you ain't building nothing? Like, girl, you ain't showing me how to build nothing. You don't know how to build shit? Why would you think I don't know how to build shit? Ain't your daddy a mason? Have you seen me around my daddy lately? You know what I'm saying? We have these unfair expectations, placed upon people, sometimes because of a status that we have in the community, sometimes because of a status that we have on a job, sometimes because of our mate or something that we've acquired in life. Just because we've acquired a big house don't mean we have this super spiritual sense of responsibility. Just because we've acquired these amazing things don't mean that we have that within us. Some of these people still need to be groomed. Some of y'all will pass a person by feeling inferior, like you can't just take a moment and really speak to this person because they may have more than you. You understand? But do you understand there's people of wealth that are suffering in soul? There are people in class that are suffering in spirit. There are people in posture that are suffering in discipline. You understand? Or suffering in community. There are so many people that have inserted themselves into this system of matrix to be an answer, yet there's nobody for them. And they've lived this life of solitude so long, they don't even have expectation of family no more. They don't even have expectation of kingdom building anymore. They've lost all sense of hope. It's not even possible in their mind now. And so they're aimlessly, they're just dead bodies walking, no matter how powerful they may be. Once you have lost the faith in people, oh my God. Once you have lost the faith in people, this life becomes a crazy, crazy place. Once you have lost your faith in people, this world becomes a very crazy place. Why? Because you start to understand how connected we really are. And once you understand how connected we really are, but you've lost the faith in people, that's like being hungry and someone's sitting an amazing plate of food in front of you, and every time you go to reach for it, you realize that you're in an acrylic case. You can't even touch the food, but you see it. It's right there. That's how a lot of successful people are. They don't want to be alone in their success. They want to help people. But so many people have come along and tarnished that gift. So many people have come along and kicked dirt on that blessing. So many people have come along and kicked dirt on that love, kicked dirt on that mission, kicked dirt on that movement. So now they're like, man, I don't even know what I'm moving for. Man, I ain't even gonna do nothing now. So how can we kingdom build? You're like, all right, Seven, well, you tell us what kingdom building is. Well, how do we go about it? I'm glad you asked that question. You know what I mean? I'm glad you asked that question. And let me take the moment to say, shout out to SAE. Shout out to SAE Institute. Magick Up TV has been approved for a produced podcast, and we will be produced late January. You understand? Stay tuned. We got some big shit popping. We kingdom building around here. We are actually building. We are building. I'm not afraid to build. That's another thing too. You cannot be afraid. You can't let the success of other people threaten what you got going on. You can't allow the lives of other people to threaten what you've got going on. What do you mean by that, Seven? You can't be afraid to help somebody. You can't be so afraid to help somebody thinking that if you help them, they may pass you in life. You can't do that. You can't do that because you have to understand every act that you're involved in, every single one, either promotes elevation or decline. Every single thing you do. Every single thing you do, you're either laying a brick or you're taking a brick away. You understand? You're either putting a brick on or you're removing one. That kingdom is either being built or it's being torn down. There is no in between. You're like, Seven, well, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting on the Lord. I'm just waiting on, no. This thing got to be done now. Time doesn't even exist. So if you're if you're sitting there waiting, you're like, I know I got all these things to do. I'm just waiting. No. You're always present. Even if that thing has not come to pass yet, it still takes that activity. You don't have to run yourself into a ground to build a kingdom. You can pace yourself. But kingdom building takes consistency. It took me years it may take years for certain people to trust something of yours. And I'm not saying that that's your responsibility. But what I am saying is we have to come to the understanding of the human being. The human being has been let down so much. They don't know that they can trust your kingdom. You understand? Some of y'all get so upset. Some of y'all get so beside yourself because nobody has joined your movement yet. Nobody has joined your movement yet. Nobody has joined your movement yet. You only been at it 6 months. I mean, I appreciate your movement. But beloved, it might take more than that. I've been at this online. I've been at this my whole life. But online, as the alchemist, I've only been at this maybe 9 years. No, let's see. 7 is 10. If 7 is 10, yeah, it might be 9 years. Do you have the stamina? Do you have the stamina to do something for 9 years without the immediate resolve that you may, in your mind, be so much in expectation of? You understand, when you're doing something outside of self, when you're doing something that requires laborers, when you're doing something that requires the observation and participation of other people, certain things you just can't rush. Peace, Tawana. Peace, Ambrosio. Some things you just can't rush. Some things people have to watch. Some things people, especially when you're talking about things that involve the spirit, things that involve the soul, things that involve, you understand, the workings of people's inner core, things that involve, life force participation. Things that require life force participation, you might have to pace yourself to show people that you really stand on business. So many people have come and gone. Think about it. Think about it. COVID was just a short while ago. You had man. When I came to social media, this thing was flooded with teachers. This thing was flooded with coaches. This thing was flooded with gurus. What? COVID? You couldn't get past a half scroll without somebody trying to tell you something and teach you something and tell you something and teach you something. Where they at now? Where they at now? I don't see them. I don't see them. And that's no disrespect, because you understand, this thing take time. This thing take energy. And people are people. So imagine if you went to work and didn't get paid. The only reason you go into work, you might love what you do, but the only reason you go into work is to exchange your life force for that paycheck. You understand? Don't act like it's more than that. Don't act like it's more than that. That's the job. So if you're not being rewarded, human beings, we are beings of reward. If there's something that you're doing and there's no reward to it, how long are you really gonna stay in that? Honestly, how long are you really gonna stay at it? How long are you really gonna stick with it? Some of y'all said, I'm gonna lose weight. Some of y'all at the beginning of the year. Now here we are at the end of another year. Every year you start this shit off the same. Girl, let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm finna lose this weight. I'm finna lose this weight. Here come October. You heavier than you was in January. You're like, God, you know what? If the beloved the divine just want me big, the divine just want me big. No. Take responsibility and change your actions. We're giving too much. We're giving light to too much bullshit. We're giving way too much light to too much bullshit. We're allowing things to take place and then we're validating it within spirituality. You know what I'm saying? Well, if the Lord would have wanted me to be nice, he would have blessed me to be, you know what I'm saying, a Virgo or whatever. No. Some things are on you. Some things are on you. You've got the deck. It's been handed out. You've got them. You got the cards. You know what I'm saying? How we going to play them? And who we playing with? Number one, how do we king build? All right, I'm glad you asked. Let's get to it. Number one, we got to clarify the vision. What you building? You know what I'm saying? You're inviting people to a building party. You're like, come on, y'all. We going to get this thing done. And then 100 people show up. And they be like, Cheryl, I just got one question. Like, what do you want, Tamika? What we doing? You know what I'm saying? What we doing? We all here. Define what your kingdom represents. Is it a spiritual movement? Is it a family legacy? Is it a thriving business? Is it a community involvement that you're trying to create? Like, what is it that you got going on? What is it? I'm so tired of the rhetoric. You understand? I'm so tired of the rhetoric. Peace, king. Peace, king. What makes you a king? Because you're a man? What makes you a queen? Because you're a woman? Because there was all kings. Man, y'all sound so retarded. Some of y'all sound so retarded, man. I'll ask the person, I'll say, why do you refer to yourself as a king? Because that's what there was in Africa. There was kings and queens. Who? Who? Who was kings and queens, my G? The king and the queen. You think everybody was a king? That would diminish the whole title of king, wouldn't it? If everybody was a king, wouldn't that diminish the whole king theory? Right? A king is one who's building a kingdom. A king is one who is building a kingdom. One who is responsible for a kingdom. A queen is one. First off, I ain't gonna get into that. A queen is one who is responsible for a kingdom. I ain't gonna get into it. Don't make me do it. Don't make you're not gonna do it. I'm gonna stay on task. I'm gonna stay on task. Number 2, we're talking about kingdom building. What is kingdom building? Number 2, you've clarified the vision, right? Now, you got to lay the foundation. Okay, we've identified what it is. Now, how is it? We've identified what it is, but how is it? You understand what I'm saying? How is it? Okay, this is the mission. All right. How are we going to do that? What does the foundation look like? Identify and strengthen the bedrock of your kingdom. Faith, values, or principles for spiritual kingdom building. A solid business plan or strategy for entrepreneurial kingdom. Leadership, discipline, and personal growth for a personal or family legacy. If you got a family, right? You have a family, and that family, let's say they may be painters. You got a family of painters, right? You're like, listen, y'all, what we should do is create this kingdom of painting. This kingdom of paint. And you start listing out that particular person's quality, that particular person's quality, that particular person's discipline. What do you think family reunions were really for? You think family reunions were designed for barbecue and hopscotch? Come on, man. That's what you really think? You think family reunions was all about wearing the same color t-shirt? That's what you think it was for? No, man. The family reunion was designed to go over family business. The family reunion was designed to discuss the family business. Family is business. Imagine it. Imagine if we actually, treated it as such. Imagine if at our family reunions, we decided on a trade that the family would participate in as a unit. Imagine that. Imagine it. Imagine at this family reunion if they decided on which 5 children would receive the financial blessing of, college tuition. Imagine it. Imagine if the family had dues. Imagine if every member of the family had to pay, or every household was responsible for paying some form of dues to the family dynasty. Imagine it. Imagine that. What do you think would happen if this particular household now needed money for the rent? This particular household needed money for the power bill. This particular household needed money for Uncle Buddy's surgery. Imagine it. Just for a moment. Let that sink in for just a moment. Imagine if that's what we did at family reunions. Imagine it. Fuck all the dancing, fuck all the music, fuck all the food. I don't care about none of that. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we doing? Laying strong foundation. Build or refine foundational structures, whether physical, like a space, or intangible, like a culture or tradition. How is it that each family of ours, we don't have no safe house? We ain't got no warehouse. How is it? We spending all this money on cars. We spending all this money on jewelry. We spending all this money on all this other stuff. And our family don't have safe houses? Our family ain't got no armory? How? How? The system is doing a great job. The system is doing a great job keeping us pressed down so that that's not even on our mind. That's not even on our radar. What are you talking about, Seven? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Have a storage unit with non-perishables. What are you talking about? What are you talking about having a storage with guns and ammunition? What are you talking about? You sound foolish. What are you talking about having a storage unit with cash on hand? What are you talking? Do you know how much money as a family we are going through annually? I ain't talking about on food. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about on the frivolous shit. I'm talking about on the shit that don't make no sense. We ain't got no family representative. We don't have no legend keepers no more. We don't even have family photo albums no more. And we talking about kingdom building. We talking about our ancestors while our grandparents forgetting what we look like. And the only one with 40 acres and a mule seemed like a Spike. But these just more better blues, y'all. It seemed like if we chose Jungle Fever, it's like the flu would break out. But yet here we are talking about loving each other, loving our sister, loving our brother. And is it just me or does it get hotter every summer? It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. What has happened to the unit of people? What has happened to the conglomerate of the human being? They are killing us individually with bills, depression, animosity, jealousy, envy. These are the things that are breaking us up. We can't build because we too jealous of what somebody else got. But there was a time when we ain't had shit, but we could build. Now we got shit and don't want to build. That don't make no sense to me. We were once a people with nothing, and we were like, come on, let's build. Let's get together and get it. Then we started getting it and was like, forget about it. Which leads me to number 3. Gathering resources. Number 3 in kingdom building. We had clarify the vision, lay a strong foundation. Number 3, gather resources. Define what you need to succeed. Not every movement is the same. Not every movement needs the same thing. So if you're inviting people into this movement, you're inviting people into this space of exchange, then I need to know what's needed. You've identified the purpose. You've identified the path. You've set the structure. Now, what is needed? What is needed now for this objective to be made manifest? Some of us are so afraid to ask. So I'm going to tell you like this. If you've been watching Magick Up TV over the last few years, I'm inviting you to be a partner. I'm inviting you to be a partner. I told you, we just got approved for the podcast. Things are going up. It's not going backwards. We're not going backwards. We're moving. We're doing this. I just spoke on a panel last night in a room full of brothers. It was amazing. It was so amazing. Shout out to the Black Man Lab. Listen. These brothers are doing it. They got a black woman lab. You know what I'm saying? They got a woman's lab, man. These people are doing the work. And I was just sitting in the audience. I got there on time. They feeding folks. They feeding folks like church. They not talking about no gods. They not talking about no orishas. They not talking about no spirits. They talking about people. They're talking about community. They're talking about business. They're talking about nutrition. They're talking about, you understand? They're getting that work in. I love it. It is exactly where I'm moving. It is exactly the movement that I've put before myself. creating havens for people to become unified, no matter what it is they believe in. Because the spirit of the human is alive and it is in need of unity. We have left the church. We left the church. The church was great at unity. I mean, you know, they had that toxic with them. But that's what happens when we get together. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have that. You're going to have a falling out when people get together. You're going to have that. But that's all right. As long as you know how to mend those relationships. But the church was great at that. They had a place for people to come. And you knew it was there. You knew it was there. You pass it all the time. Be like, man, I ain't bothering with them people. And then all of a sudden one day, your spirit started hurting. And he was like, you know what, man? I'm just going to walk up in there, man. I'm just... You remember what it was like? And then they get up there. How many of y'all here for the first time? Go and stand up. And the whole congregation started clapping. And he was like, for me? You know what I mean? Then after service, everybody start coming up to you. Hey, how you doing? And you was like, oh man, I'm coming back next week. Until you found out the truth. And then you stopped going. And then when you stopped going, there was nowhere else to go. So then you lay in your bed and you feel empty. You wanted to go back. But now your eyes been open to the truth, and you're like, man, I don't know if I can do that now. But you're missing that camaraderie. You're missing that spirit of community. You're missing that love. And this is what Magick Up TV and the Family Unites is all about. Find us on Facebook, the Family Unites. Find us. It don't matter what. Find us. We're here to unite the human being, man. So you got to gather the resources. Financial resources, funding, donations or investment, human resources, mentors, teams, allies or partners, knowledgeable resources or tools, education, strategy or training. Avoid building beyond your means. Sustainable growth is key. If you are too much for your people, which that happened. I was too much at one point. They didn't know what to do with me. They didn't know. I had to fall back for a moment. I had to regather. I had to gather myself. I had to center myself. Where am I missing the mark? Where am I missing the mark? Seven, you too much. You're doing too much. I was wearing my garb every day. I was wearing it every day. You're doing too much. Sometimes you just got to be relatable. You want these people to enter into the kingdom, but you supersizing everything. You judging everybody from this place of expression. You know what I'm saying? Not from a place of internal observation. You just outright with it. You're not appreciative of the help that they're trying to give you already. You're trying to manufacture it from the most optimum place without giving the most optimum energy. You want people to follow you, but you're not doing enough yourself. You ain't doing the work. You want people to respect your power. You want people to respect your magic. You want people to respect your spirit, but you ain't doing enough. You ain't doing enough. How you wanna be somebody's guru, and you got people who just coming into this life, learning more than you, outpacing you, doing more than you for the people? How? How's anybody going to follow you when they see that you ain't doing shit? You lazy. You might be powerful, but you lazy. It don't matter what you got. It don't matter how much you know until people know how much you care. It don't matter how big you are until you put that strength in the people. It don't matter how powerful you are until you start empowering someone else. That is how it works. That's how it works. I got a few more. I'm going to make it quick. Develop and equip leaders. You got something, bring them leaders in. Train people who will carry the vision forward. Foster relationships, delegation, and empowerment. Establish roles and responsibilities clearly to avoid confusion and burnout. People get burnt out. If you're spinning your wheels, you're trying this thing, but you don't have no clear direction. You've brought people in. They see your might. They see your power. They see what you got going on. They see it. But you ain't moving fast enough. You don't have a clear enough vision. You haven't established leaders. You haven't established roles for people to come into and participate in. If you're wanting to establish a movement, yet you're not allowing people to feel like they own the movement as well, you're so concerned with being the only one. That's why nobody's coming over. Number 5, build relationships and partnerships. Form alliances with like-minded individuals or organizations. Prioritize trust, mutual benefits, and collaboration. In spiritual or community building efforts, engage deeply in those who you serve. If you have no understanding of the need of the people, you just out there just talking your shit, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what the people need. You have no idea what they got going on. You have no idea, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. And you're wanting people to participate in your movement. You missed the whole movement. You offering peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to a body of people with peanut allergies. And then you wondering, why ain't nobody eating? I invited people to the meal, ain't nobody eating. I established leaders, ain't nobody eating. You didn't identify your people. Number 6, implement strategies and take action. The action part is where a lot of people go wrong. So many people are great with identifying the movement. So many people are great putting the plan together. So many people are great building relationships. But man, that action, that implementing and the action part is where we miss a whole lot of people. That part right there. Break down the larger vision into actionable steps. So many of y'all have such a grand situation, it's not duplicatable. It's not duplicatable. You got people feeling so inferior coming into your situation. They don't feel like they can take part in what you got going on. It's way too big. It's way too big. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I don't think I can do it, Seven. I don't think I can do it. Focus on priorities, but remain adaptable to changing circumstances. What just happened? I brought out the Family Unites last year. I came out with the Family Unites last year, had the conference calls, had the page done, had the website built, had everything, had the ads, all that. I was too much. I was too much for people. They came in and so much was done by the time they got there, they didn't feel a part of the process. That implementing and taking action. Measure progress regularly to ensure alignment with your vision. You gotta make sure that the people that are coming in are a right fit. Just because they want to help doesn't mean they should. You know what I mean? We about to start this robot class. You know what I'm saying? You know, Sabrina don't know nothing about technology. Nothing. And you're like, all right, Sabrina, you're gonna be the head of my tech. My tech. Come on, man. Sabrina don't know. She don't even know how to make a Facebook profile. I love you, Sabrina. I love you. Y'all, shout out to Sabrina, man. I got some amazing people, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nicole Harden, you know what I mean? Shout out to Aaliyah. You know, these individuals have come into this movement. They saw what was taking place. Seven, how can we be of service? How can we be of service? Right? Number 7, create a system for growth. Develop processes in that system that make expansion possible. Make expansion possible. If this thing is built in a container, You know what I'm saying? It can never grow. It can never get larger than you. You know what I mean? It can never grow past you. That's not a movement. That's not kingdom building. That's just your shit. You know what I mean? That's just yours. And that's okay. That's just yours. But when you're kingdom building, you know what I'm saying? You're developing processes and systems that make expansion possible. Efficient workflows and operations, scalable structures, mentorship programs, franchises, networks. A culture that evolves without losing its core values. This is how we're king. If you never knew this stuff, then it's no surprise that there was no kingdom building taking place. Oh, kingdom building, kingdom building, kingdom building. But how do we do it, Seven? How? Number 8. And I only got 2 more after this. Number 8. Serve and impact others. I cannot drill that enough. So many leaders want to be served. So many leaders want to be worshiped. So many leaders want to be reverenced. But they're not serving the people. They're not impacting nobody. They just talking a bunch of blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? They just blah, blah, blah. And they blah, 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 blah. They just love to hear their self-talk. It's not empowering anybody. It's not moving anyone to change. It's making people feel comfortable where they are. It's a message of complacency. Just so it's a feel-good message. I don't need the feel-good messages. I need you to be moving. I need movement. I need structure. I need implementation. I need action. So if you are watching, if you've been a watcher, if you've been a supporter of the Magick Up, you know what I'm saying, TV, if you've been a supporter of the Family Unites, you need to inbox me. Because we are now creating a system by which you can really take part in. This goal, this new initiative, is to expand this message, to expand this platform, right? Serving and impacting others. Ensure that the kingdom's existence benefits others and not just the creator. Who wants to come into a mission or a movement that's just all about you? Who wants that? Nobody. Nobody wants to be sitting around just celebrating you. You know what I mean? For what? What did you do? And are you still doing it? Or you just did it once and you just want to keep getting celebrated for that one thing you did that one time, long time ago? You still talking about it. You ain't done nothing new since. But you still want people to be so in awe of it. That's like the dude on the basketball court, you know what I'm saying? He did that one, he got that one shot off. He had the other, he still got his hand up. The game's still going though. Number 9, protect and maintain. The kingdom needs protection. This thing is like a child. It's like a child. It has to be incubated. It has to be provided for. It has to be nurtured. It has to be protected. Monitor the health of your kingdom, spiritual, emotional, financial, or otherwise. Safeguard against threats, complacency, external attacks, poor leadership. Listen, within the Family Unites, right? The first people that I started going after were leaders. And I'm hard on leaders. I'm very, 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 very hard on leaders. You understand? That's like you're a general in the army. Your troops are getting mangled and mashed up. And somebody comes to talk to you about it, and now you crying. You can't be crying about this shit. You cannot be crying about the war. You cannot cry about the war. You can't do it. If you put yourself in a leadership position, you can't be out here crying about the war. You cannot. You have to be about action. You got to be about manifestation, you know what I'm saying, and movement. That's your place. You put yourself there. You did that. You said that you was this. You said it. I didn't say it. You said it. You want me to say it. I'm not going to say it till you show it to me. You want me to call you king, but you're not leading nobody. I'm not calling you a king till I see you leading somebody. Your name is going to be Martin. You know what I'm saying? I'm not King Martin, King this, King. Nah, bro. What up, Larry? What's up, Larry? How you feeling? You good? You know how many people have asked me about that? You know how many people have said to me, hey, bro, why you don't call me a king? You know I'm a king, right? Like, I don't understand. Michaela, peace. Hey, listen, man. Hey, this woman right here, Michaela, man, this woman has come into the kingdom. When I tell you I'm out here kingdom building, man, you got to have a place to put people. You got to have a narrative that needs execution. And when I tell you, and you put that narrative out there and you find amazing people that can execute, you got to step back and let them execute. This sister right here, Michaela, man, listen. I like, hey, Mickey, I need this done. Hey, Mickey, I need that done. And she'll be like, hey, Seven, this need to be done. Hey, Seven, I really want you to meet this person. I really want you to do this. I really want you. Once you start to recognize the greatness in certain individuals, you don't have to be over their shoulder with it all. You let them run, you let them go. You wind them up and let them go. They gonna go. Last night, I was in a meeting, y'all, for the first time in probably 12 years. No cap. For the first time in probably 12 years, man, we at this meeting, the Brothers Lab. You know what I'm saying? Jermaine Todd, his father, I'm a father first movement. You know what I mean? We're at the Black Man Lab, right? And it got to a point where they were talking about who's got a business. Who's got a business? Go ahead and shout your business out. You know what I mean? And I had already been talking. I'm on the panel. You know what I mean? Give somebody else some shine, right? And from out of nowhere, Jermaine stands up. Hey, you know, if you need any, you know, if you got a business, you desire to have a business, or you need to rebrand your business, we have a full-fledged, a full business branding, you know, business, Seventh Wonder, this, that, and the third. We do the flyers, the logos, the websites, and I'm just sitting there for the first time in 12 years. I'm listening to someone else pitch my company. I was so honored. I was so honored, man. This man is a giant among men. He is a God among kings. This man is an angel among humans, man. I mean, it's amazing. To kingdom build is so divine, y'all. I don't think I've seen anybody really pour light into that aspect of it. Like celebrating their people. You got to celebrate people, man. You got to celebrate them. Monitor the health of your kingdom, safeguard the threats, establish accountability, and keep yourself and others on track. And then the last thing is leaving a legacy. Leave a legacy. Ensure the kingdom outlives you or its founders by creating sustainable practices and inspiring the next generation. That's key. That is what this is all about for me. Having my name left on the walls of humanity. This guy did it this way, and boy, was humanity blessed from it. And people go, man, he taught me this and he taught me that. You know, and they further those teachings. And in that, they are helping to continue the legacy. Some of you, you're going to die, and everything you've been working for going to die with you because you don't want to share nothing. You don't want to share nothing. You don't want to let go of anything. You want all the acclaim, you want all the title, or you want it all. That's why it's never going to go nowhere. Number 2, write down principles, history, and wisdom to pass down. If you don't have bylaws, if you don't have a blueprint, if you don't have, you understand, the dichotomy of this particular kingdom cataloged somehow, some way for somebody to follow after and pass along, then it's a very short-lived movement. You understand? Example, for personal legacies, invest in education or mentoring those who will carry on your work. Kingdom building is a cyclical process. Envisioning, creating, growing, and sustaining a kingdom aligned with a greater purpose. Whether you're building a community, a brand, or a movement, or a spiritual legacy, these steps guide you in creating something impactful and enduring. And that is why I say, life is easy. We make it hard. Let's get out there, family. Be a part of a building. Be a part of a kingdom. Build your kingdom. Work on your kingdom. Invite people to the kingdom. Make the kingdom sustainable. This is how we keep humanity moving forward. I love y'all. Peace to man, woman, and child, and all things that walk the earth as above, so below. May all things be balanced and well alignment. Do I, as I send this love and this light back to each and every one of y'all. Please share the message. You've been watching Magick Up TV, and I am Seven The Alchemist. Peace and light.